Hello. This okay, that's better. I'm not sure what is up with this lighting, but it makes me look orange, which is fine. So today I'm not going to be talking about the Schumer shutdown because we don't know how this is going to resolve, or if it will. Trump seems to be pretty much going just to cut jobs. So good luck, Democrats. We see you're losing all the Democrat-held jobs right now. Are you sure that's a good idea? I'm also not going to talk about Israel and Hamas because I don't really know how that's going to turn out, and neither does anybody else. Anybody who says they know is either deluded or lying to you, one or the other. So, what I am going to talk about, though, is going to be Governor Moore in Maryland, my home state, Venezuela, and you're not special. So, first, Governor Moore. Apparently, so I just saw this in my morning coffee with the old guys. Basically is part of my system of living. Every day I walk down to get coffee. So I go to the old mill. I go to this place near me. Um, it's a nice cafe. Most days of the week. They're closed on Wednesdays, so I go to this bar instead and have toast and coffee there. And I go there every Wednesday, so the old guys there kind of know me, which is nice. I'd highly recommend anybody who doesn't have friends or a social life to build patterns because if you go to the same place every week, people tend to get to know you. Or at least they recognize you, which is all you really need. You don't need to have an in depth conversation every week, but you do need to have people around. So anyway, I'm just drinking my coffee and my toast, watching the morning news. And apparently Wes Moore has lost 8 of his 27 chief people in the past 2 years. That's kind of a lot, especially after Hogan, which basically kept all of his people. And these are some pretty high people. I think like the chief of staff and similarly ranked people. That's not a good sign. Westmore is supposed to be one of the effective Democrat governors. The fact that he's having these kind of issues happening to him is not a good sign for the Democrats. Um, Maryland's a deep blue state. Like these aren't like political differences. I can guarantee you that. This sort of sounds maybe like incompetence. And it's a rough situation Maryland's in. That's true. We are losing a lot of money from the federal government because where do you think it all goes if the government spends money? Where do you think all the corruption goes? Delaware, maybe. Virginia, maybe. A lot of it goes to Maryland. Um, I don't know where all the really rich people are. No, actually, I do. Annapolis. They're all in Annapolis. Annapolis is just broke on corruption. But yeah, that's basically where the money's going. So Maryland. So if there's federal cuts, it affects Maryland first and foremost. So it's not an easy situation. But people were like raising Wes Moore as a possible presidential candidate. No, that's not going to be the person. I don't think we actually are talking about whoever it's going to be. I feel like they would probably want to keep a low profile until about like the campaign season actually begins. It's just way too much crossfire going on to be in the public eye right now. There's a reason why JD Vance has been sticking back. Now, Maryland is a somewhat well governed state. We've been blessed by the fact we've had actually a few more Republican governors than would be expected. Hogan was governor, I think, 8 years. And then before that, I think 8 years before that, we had Elwick. The governor in between, I think that was O'Malley. He wasn't terrible. He was fine. We've had a succession of pretty good governors. And I think our luck on that has kind of run out. How much battery do I have left? I have 60% should be enough for this. And maybe it'll turn around. I think Maryland's kind of screwed. All of the competent people, a lot of the competent people in Maryland are moving. If you're in government space, you're going to move to Virginia. If you're in private space, you're not going to stay in Maryland. The schools are good, but woke as anything. So you're not going to want to raise kids here. Baltimore is actually getting better. So that's one bright spot. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Next topic. Venezuela. Um, I don't care. And we've had paramilitary operations in South America for 150 years. This isn't new. The only thing new about what Trump is doing is basically being public about it and well known about it. And I think more honorable about it, in my personal opinion. He seems to be actually targeted at drug cartels. And these cartels aren't like just money making schemes. If somebody wants to make money, fine. That's not going to bother me too much. What does bother me is when you become basically an occupying force, replacing local governments with your thugs. I'm like, oh my god, these drug smugglers are just trying to make a living. Yeah, serving people who who go into a new neighborhood, murder 10 people just to send a message, and murder another person every year just to kind of keep sending a message. They own parts of Mexico. And, like, that's pretty well known. What magical force field do you think is, if given open borders, what magical force field do you think is going to prevent that kind of thing from happening in the United States? Like, really, what magical force field do you think is going to happen? What's going to prevent them from buying politicians, buying police commissioners in the southern United States? What's going to stop that from happening? Maybe be like, oh, America's a lot more guns. Yeah, yeah. So warfare, is that, you want the problem to continue until there's open warfare between the cartels and Texans, between whom I'm not exactly sure what a future Democrat administration would actually side with. I say cut it down now. You don't have some magical right to be an international drug cartel that oppresses people. You don't have the right to be an oppressive person. There's a lot of talk in the woke community about oppressors and oppressed and everything. Do you know what oppresses somebody? A gang preventing people from being able to go on a walk at 7 p.m. at night. Not being able to go around Baltimore and in certain areas of Baltimore at a certain time of night because it's dangerous. That's being oppressed. It's not some mythical, oh, people like me are oppressing you. No, we're not. We're sitting at home playing video games. That's what we're doing. We're not oppressing anybody. No, that's not anywhere near reality. These cartels, though, they are oppressing people by shooting them in the streets and demanding payment. Like, are we really, the idea that like upper middle class white guys are oppressing everybody in the world is just such obvious bullcrap that if you believe that, you are an idiot. Yes, you might have nice credentials. Yes, you might have a high IQ. You are an idiot if you think that. You're idiot as in not smart, as in stupid. So yeah, I've issues with some of the stuff Trump is doing. I don't like putting the American military in American cities. I don't like that. I think he's overreached in some areas. This is not one of them. Speaking of which, I still think this is bloody hilarious. There's somebody had a Reddit thread where they said you can call it the Third Amendment. The Third Amendment says that it's illegal to prevent to station troops inside people's homes. That's right after the Second Amendment. So what do you could do if you're a Democrat and you're clever, which they're not, is you could say, well, a city is your home, so you can't station troops here. What does the Third Amendment say? Do, 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 do. Can you just, I really, okay. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. First of all, bad revision. Second of all, you can see how that could be construed to make it illegal to station federal troops in American cities. And it's gonna be tough to go against because no, if you take away an expansive meaning of that, you take away an expansive meaning of the Second Amendment, which Republicans do not want to do. Final note: you're not special. Sorry, I know that you think you're special. You're not. I've had a couple conversations with online women over the past week. One is named Sunville. She's on the Basecamp Discord. We had a long conversation. And another, I just had a conversation with a girl from Bumble who's PhD student having basically a freak out about the meaning of life, basically, kind of thing. He's like, okay, talk to somebody. It's like, fine. It's a Wednesday night. I might as well talk to somebody. And as you do, you talk to them. Oh, what do you want in a relationship? What do you want dating? Yada yada yada. And they both think they're so special. They're like, oh, I want a strong man who like is competent, capable, and treats himself harshly to get the job done. And I'm the only woman to watch that. It's like, no, you're not. You're not at all. You are not special. Your desires are not like special. Every woman thinks that they're special. And every man, this is not a gendered critique. Every man thinks, oh, I want this special thing. I want something special. It's like, okay, you're not special. The thing you want's not special. And you know what? They're not special either. We're all just rabbits running around, eating food and drinking water and sleeping. And if we're really, really good, if we're good at playing the game, there's some screwing going on too. That's what we are. We're animals. We are. Now we have souls, we have immortal souls and all that kind of stuff, but that belongs to God. But with regards to dating, that's not a spiritual thing. Now, marriage is put before God, which is okay. You can make that argument. But screwing is not magical. Like, there's somebody who had a Quora article saying, oh, I want fulfillment, so I'm going to sweep around. It's like, no, nobody thinks that you get fulfillment from that. There've been like 30 world religions. None of them have that as a conclusion. And yeah, you can say boo, religion, whatever. They are things that people thought about for an extended period of time. If you think you came up with a better answer than all of the world religions, well, why haven't you started your own? If you have these magical answers, start a religion, help other people. But you don't, and you know you don't. All these people think they're so special. And it's really sad because, like, if you go for special, you end up with nothing. You end up with, well, what's happening now throughout the world. If you just start with the base, hey, I just want somebody to work with over a lifetime to raise a kid or two. That's doable. That's something you can ask for. You ask for your daily bread. You don't ask for cake. That's what you're asking for. That's what I think. That's what the world is asking for. You're asking for cake. It's saying no. Get bread, wheat bread, barley maybe. Don't ask for cake. Ask for bread. So all these people, and they look smart. These two people were very both smart gals, and they're both well versed in history and logic and philosophy and all these things. Pretty intelligent. Stupid. That's not. You're not special. There's something called folk wisdom, where it's just like basically being wise. I definitely think being wise is different than being intelligent. Now I know that because I'm not wise at all. I am a jackass, and therefore I know. Socrates strikes again. I know that I do not know. I get why they killed him, but he was right. But I get why they killed him. Like, if you say that kind of thing to the whole world, I could see why people would want to kill him. I kind of get it. Um, but yeah, lesson for this quick talk is that you're not special. The things you want aren't special. Everybody wants the same things. And if you want the same thing everybody else wants, you're going to be treated badly. Because only 10, only a small number of people can provide what you want, and if everybody's going for that, they can afford to treat you badly. No, if I was a woman, I would go for mustaches. Go for a trait that every other woman hates, and then you win. Anyway, I've heard circumcision works the same way. Anyway, cheers.